I've been working here for about 2 years, and the main purpose for me is to have the bees to do the pollination of the almonds, cherries, and blueberries. It's really important. I mean, pretty much without bees, you won't even have almonds or cherries or blueberries. So it's really important to keep the bees and alive to mainly get the 100% production of every single tree. Yeah, we do work with Italian bees, and well, they are Italian queens that they produce those bees, and they're a little bit different because they produce a lot of brood, a lot of bees, and more than other bees. Also, in the winters, they stretch a little bit longer, and to have a big colony than other bees. When the bees start working, the queen start putting eggs from the center of the comb. And she started like making like this, putting eggs all around there to cover all that. And you can even tell, like all this was like brood, was like the babies, and then right next to the babies they storage the pollen or around that like a rainbow, and then they storage the honey in the corners. So that's the way like the queen and the hive and everything works. So it's super cool. So the bees, you gotta make sure they always have food. Even sometimes when the almond is blooming and the almond doesn't produce that much nectar, it produces a lot of pollen but not enough nectar, so you gotta be feeding them, and you gotta be constantly putting medicine, organic medicine of course, and to keep the varroa mites out of the hives. And then you gotta make sure they have enough space on the colony, add boxes if they have to, or you can also be checking for the queen, make sure the queen is working properly. So it's like a lot of different tasks that you do and over the full month. Bees pollinate 70% of all the food that we eat every day, right? So, and they pollinate from carrots to onions to cherries to apples to blueberries to broccoli. So it's like a million products that we eat literally every day that we don't realize. Even alfalfa to feed the cows, so even the meat is because of the bees. So, and in the end of the day, whatever you see bees out there, they are working really hard, and make sure you don't bother them, you don't spray any chemicals, you don't touch them, you don't hit them, and make sure you leave them alone by themselves. When I was 17 years old, I opened a first hive right next to my teacher, and once I opened the hive, I completely fell in love with it. I mean, the smell, the way that they move, the way that they act, the way that they do all that stuff, I completely fell in love. So since there, I just said I want to be a beekeeper for the rest of my life. That's what I still do. And I just love the way they work, how smart they are, how efficient they are, how much they teach you about life, how much they teach you about the daily basis and how to work, how to take care of your own house. It's literally an open book. And beside that, they are amazing. All the stuff that they do is completely different world. You know, it's like the world of the bees against our world is completely different and amazing. So, yeah, and you will never stop learning about them. So that's something that I completely fell in love. Beside that, every single hive is different. So opening every single hive, learning about them is pretty much what I fall in love with.